Hey, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of I think I officially named it Obsidian for TTRPGs. So this is episode 4. Episode 3 hasn't actually aired, release scheduled, whatever you want to call it, just yet. But it's kind of a good thing that I did some back-to-back recordings because last week I ended up being really sick. So if I would have tried recording episode 2 when I normally would have recorded, it would have been absolutely terrible. Only one of my episode series actually was sent out last week. So I'm kind of excited to be continuing this, and I think we might. I'm not sure. We might be able to get through all the rest of the basic Markdown and start working on some of the plugins and doing Markdown with plugins, which I'm pretty excited about. Let me really quick check. I believe I actually had some comments with the Obsidian that I wanted to mention, because I do try and mention any comments I get. So it looks like I have one comment from, oh boy, I'm gonna slaughter this name, I guarantee it, but I believe it is Omega David Hidalgo, maybe Hidalgo or something. Okay, I apologize for slaughtering your name, but thank you for your comment. Says, hello, I recently discovered your channel and want to say thanks for all the good content you have for improving our gaming session. They also commented on an older video where I was talking about Arkenforge, which was a long time ago, but I'm more than happy to get your comment. So thank you for your comment, and I hope that I meet your expectations with Obsidian. So we're gonna go ahead and continue. So that was on episode 1. Episode 2 released 3 days ago. No, 3 days ago, I think. And that's the only comments I have up to this point. So in the last episode, we actually covered a whole lot. We talked about, I think we started with the advanced formatting and got all through all the callouts and through code blocks and code block or code highlighting. And then we also talked about these two parts of linking. Now we actually have other linking that we can do as well that we're going to be talking about. So I'm going to, let's see. So we can also link to a heading. So here we have a renamed link, and it's going to the plugins page. We're going to link to this same page because we actually have lots of headings in here where we did heading 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the way you link to a heading is basically, well, let's just do it and we'll talk about it. I'm just double checking my notes, make sure there wasn't anything else. Yeah, all right. So what we're going to do is do a link to a heading. So let's do a link to HADING. So this is linking to a heading, and so we're going to open up with our 2 brackets, and we want to link to this actual sheet. So we're going to say, or this note, we're going to do M for Markdown, and you'll notice it automatically fills it in. And I can click on that, but there's a little bit more. I actually want a heading within it, so I use the hashtag, and this will pull up all my headings. So this is heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's say we want to link to heading number 4. We just can select that one. Now you don't have to have a list to select from. You can actually type this exact thing with the hashtag and then heading 4. And then of course, as we talked about before, you know, if we don't want to have this big heading. So if we go into that, you'll see it says Markdown cheat sheet heading, and you'll see that it is actually linking to heading 4. But let's say we wanted to make it so it's not this ginormous thing that, you know, is pointing to heading 4 like that. We can once again do aliases with it and do a pipe symbol. Oops. And we could say H4 or something like that to make it a little less ginormous. So that's just helping us remember the aliases or the renaming. Also, we can link to external things. So let's say, or actually no, there was one I wanted to do before that. So up here, you may or may not have noticed, because I did a cut and paste, it's here, but you'll see this little, what do we call that? The caret, I think? The caret symbol, or the, I don't know, up arrow. But you'll notice it says caret and success. Because this is a thing, we actually might want to put that in our escape characters, which is Shift 6. Because if I'm doing a caret symbol with a word right next to it, it will not render. So if I said, for example, caret and said SUCESS like that, that will render fine because there's a space. However, if I'm in here and for whatever reason I want it to be right next to it, if we do that, now you'll see it doesn't actually render when we're in view mode. So that might give you an idea of what this is. So this is where we want to link to, is the success call out, and where we want to link to, we put our little key, or what we want to actually link to. So it doesn't have to be a call out. It could be anything on the page. All we have to do is actually put what we, our little key of what we're linking to. So if we come down here, and let's say we want to link to that. So I'm going to say, I had it saying link to a block, but I think it can go anywhere. So link to, what should I call it? Link to area, maybe. A-R-E, area of a page, or of a note, I'm going to go with that. Alright, so the way we do that, similar with our others, we can go like this with our 2. We can do Markdown cheat sheet like that. And then inside here, we act like we're going to link to a heading, but then we actually put right after it what we're actually doing. And I'm not 100% sure if it's going to show us the success one. Actually, it looks like it's showing us everywhere that we can link to. So I guess what we would do is, like, if we wanted to link to linking plugins, which, let's just do that real quick just so you can see what it does. So what this is actually going to do is, you'll see it generates a random one. So if you know exactly where you want to link, you can actually do that. You can also not put in your random number. If I wanted to call it success to make it easier, we could do SUCESS like so. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, it did it without uppercase. If I do that, and then of course I don't want it to be this big thing like this, you'll see unable to find. Hold on a second. SUCESS. Oh, I didn't have 2 C's. Yeah, I have to do it right. Here you can see it's actually doing it now. So if we do that, now if we mouse over it, you can see it's linking to that success. So it's going to link to whatever's directly above it. We can actually go ahead and just get rid of, where was that other one? Oh, it actually got rid of it for us. Nice. So, and then once again, renaming is always really nice, because this kind of gets a little bit confusing and doesn't look very nice. So we could say our little pipe and maybe do SUCCESS call out, like so. Oh, call out G. So there you go. And then now you can see it will link just to the success. We can actually click it and it will take us to it. I don't think, in this case, I don't think it's something we can actually, can we click on this guy? No. When we click on it, it will take us up there. And then of course here we can click on that to expand it. Where other things, if we link to it, like if we come to plugins, or not plugins, if we come to the H4 one, and then if we scroll down and do the H4 one again, it will actually open another window, and it'll just keep doing this. But with the what do I want to call that? I don't know what I want to call this. The linking to an area of a note, it doesn't make it as interactive, I believe. Now it might do it with other links, but it definitely doesn't do it with the call out. All right, so moving on, we can also link to external things. So we're going to link to just google.com. Now, this isn't going to render it in a small window. This will actually create a link that goes to google.com. Now, the way we do this is a little bit different. Let's do link to external site. There's actually two ways you can do this. It automatically does this. If I were to open up a browser, go to google.com, and then paste it in my note, it will automatically do it and put the syntax for me. But I want, in this case, to actually show you how you do it manually. So we're going to say external link, or linking to an external site. So instead of doing the double bracket, we just do a single bracket and we do whatever we want it to be called. So GOOGLE. And then after that, we do an open parenthesis, and this is where we would put the URL. So https://www.googledle.com. And if we render that, you can actually see now it's Google, and it shows that this is going to open a new page. So if I click on that, you will see that it opened in the wrong window. It opened google.com right here. All right, so let's move on to other things we can do. Let me pull up my notes. So we can also link to other vaults, and it's similar to how we did the Google, but at the same time it's a little bit different and a little bit more in depth, I guess. So I'm going to, this one I'm going to cut and paste just so you can get an idea of what the syntax is. But I'm going to say, I need to go back to edit mode and go ahead and say linking to other vault, I guess. Other vault. Obsidian vault, maybe. OBSIDIAN VAULT. So this doesn't actually have to be a vault that, you know, when I click on the thing, all it's carrying is that it's a folder that has the .obsidian file in it. All right, it doesn't necessarily have to be an Obsidian vault that's actually listed here from what I understand. If you know differently, feel free to let me know in the comments below. So here is how we do this. So I have in my vaults, let's do this. Can I do, let's do ZZ admin and just say open in System Explorer. So here is our vaults, right? So I have my Friday night game, and inside, I think this is the one I'm linking to, I have my Friday night game, and you'll notice that there's spaces here. If you know anything about how HTML works, like when you're doing a URL, if you have a space, usually in a URL, it will replace that with a %20, which is that hexadecimal for the space? I think so. But it actually replaces spaces with %20. So if you have spaces in the name, you're going to need that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into my Obsidian vault, which is my Friday night game. And then once we're in there, we just need to tell it what file we're getting. Now the file we're actually going to access is inside actors, inside NPCs, and it will actually be this one right here, Rin Savinsky. I'm assuming that's how that's said. So the way we do that is just like this. So you can see I give it a name that I want it to show up as. Then you use Obsidian, and just like as if it were HTTPS or HTTP, you actually just do Obsidian : / open ? And then you say vault, and then you say what the vault equals. In this case, it's my Friday game, but because there are spaces in that, the only way it understands that is with %20. Other types of characters will also render. So if you type it in a URL in like your Google or something like that, you might be able to see it there. And then we want to say, and the file is going to equal Rin, and then there's that %20 again, and Savinsky on .md, which is the Markdown. So if we do that, now you'll see we have another external link saying Rin Savinsky. If I click on that, it's actually going to open up my instance of Obsidian, or it's going to link to that vault. As you can see, it says loading a lot of plugins, loading the vault, and loading the workspace. And there we go. Rin Savinsky is now what's there. So you can see all my information on Rin Savinsky. And then if I close that vault, we're back to this one. All right, so hopefully that makes sense to you. The other things you can actually do is link to external images. Now, actually, I don't remember. Oh, I do. In my notes, I don't have it there, but I'm going to add it. We're going to do this. I need to go back to edit mode again. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to link. I think we're going to link to an internal image first. And the way you do that, so I'm going to do INTRNAL internal images, IMAGES, and I don't remember, I think I might have some images in here. I do not. So let's go ahead and put an image in our file. So I think, let's go ahead and go to this one. I'm going to grab in my testing, which is the one I'm actually doing all my notes in. In here, I have some attachments. We'll grab this nice little leaflet. So we'll copy that. Where's copy? Way down here. And we'll go into our vault that we're in for YouTube. Go to ZZadmin, attachments, and we'll go ahead and do leaflet. So once again, you can, like if I have a screenshotting type utility, I can actually just tell it to copy it, and then I can come right in here and paste it. I will demo that as well. Let me just make sure I know. So now we have leaflet image right here, right? And it's a PNG file. So there's a couple ways we can do that. I'm going to show you the way that we're just going to take a screenshot. So I'm going to use my tool. I don't know if this will work right, if you can see this. Hopefully you can. I'm just going to take a small section of the screen that we're in, and I'm going to copy it to the clipboard. So if I actually paste this in here, you'll see it actually says pasted image, and then it has some number. If we go into attachments now, you'll actually see we have pasted image and some number. Now, cool thing, if I want to rename this pasted image to snippet or something like that, if I come in here and change it right here and say snippet, SNIPPET, I think, and hit enter, you'll actually see it changed it here automatically for me, which is kind of handy. So if I wanted this leaflet, for example, basically what you do is the bang or the exclamation point and then your double brackets. So if we do this, I'll just show you what it's going to look like. Hit delete. Go ahead and do the bang and then our doubles. And this is telling it that I'm looking for an image. So now if I start typing mitflit, M-I-T, you'll see that it has mitflit image. We have snippet. So it's looking at what I have in my images folder, and we want this one. So there we go with mitflit image PNG. And that's it. Basically you do that. I'm going to get rid of this one because it's really kind of pointless. It's just a chunk of our screen right here. Alright, so if we go in now and we look at this, you'll see we have this nice mitflit image, right? So if we wanted to resize this, if we go look at the properties of this is going to get just a little deeper. Did I close the other? Yes, I did. Alright, so let's go to images, attachments right here, and say show in System Explorer. So if we go look at our attachments here and look at this mitflit just to look at its properties, it's the width that you can kind of use to make a ratio. So if we go look at the details, we can see its width is 400 pixels. So if I take this image and just kind of note how big it is on the page, if I say, like I'm going to rename it, but in this case it's not because it's an image, we're going to do the pipe, and I'm going to type 400. We shouldn't actually see any changes at all. It's basically the exact same size. If I want to shrink it for whatever reason, I can actually come in here and say, I want to do half of that, so let's go 200. And now when we go into our others, you'll see he's half the size. Now, of course, we can also make it bigger. However, when you make something bigger and than its original size, it could get pixelated. So let's say we wanted to go double its size and go 800. I don't know if that's even going to fit in the window, but there we go. So you can see it's a little bit more blurry, but overall it's pretty good. It is a PNG, so it stretches decently. If this was a JPG or something, it probably wouldn't do quite as well. So you can actually also change the size of the image. Now you can also do it differently, which we're going to have a little section here coming up on when we're doing our external images. We're actually going to set it to a specific size. Actually, you know what? Let's do it to this one because it's a lot shorter, the code. So I'm going to say internal images. I'm going to leave this with nothing in it so that we know that this is just posting an internal image. We're going to hit enter and INTR internal image resize. So if you just put one of those values, so if we take our mitflit here and we say if we only have one of those values, it's going to be the width. So if we said, 600, this is going to be the width that it's expanding. You'll see that, and then it just basically does the ratio for the height for us. So it's not necessarily we're saying 50% or anything like that, and the percentage won't actually work in it. You need to do it like this. What the width is. So I'm going to put maybe a comment here saying the number here will be the new width HEI height AD adjusts auto AU something like that, and then we'll go ahead and do 2%, and that gets rid of it. I think we can get rid of that one, and technically we do that. I just want it on one line, so you'll see that doesn't actually show up our comment, which is exactly what we want. Now, if we specify a width and a height, it will actually force it to do that. I keep forgetting I need to go into, oh, actually that was the right mode. So we're gonna just hit enter twice, and then we're gonna take our leaflet here and we're gonna kind of distort him. Let's make him look fat and short. So Control C, we'll go down here, do Control V. So just like when you're looking at images and stuff, it'll say 600 by, and it uses the X. That's what you do here. So if we say 600 by, let's say 200, he'll be a short, fat little dude. And there you go. So you can see 600 wide, 200 tall. Is that what I said it was? 400? No, 200. So I don't think I need to leave a comment for that. You should know that if it's this is always the width and the height. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about external images. So what we're going to do is actually grab the Google that is on the Google page and just link to that. So that might change depending on if they're doing different doodle thingies or whatever they're called. But let's go ahead and do that and do and we'll do EXTR in the external images. Now, if I were just to, copy and paste the Google image into my thing, it would actually create an image of it as a PNG and access it. But I can actually access, let's say there's an image that might change. So I want it to always be whatever their current image is. I don't know. Let's say there's something about the DEF CON level, whether we're at World War III or not. And there's a site that you can go to and they have an image on that site that says, what the current DEF CON level is. In this case, we're just going to do Google because I don't know of a site that does the DEF CON image. But once again, the same principles with the resizing will also work with your external image. So we're going to go ahead and do our Bing, which is telling it that this is an external type of link. And then we also only do the single bracket. And then this is, I think this is like if the image is unavailable, this is what it displays. If I'm right. So in this case, we're just going to say Google, Google, oh my goodness, GLE, and I'm just say logo. And then outside, just like we did before, we're going to actually put the URL to said image. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and do this, and we're going to paste this like that. So HTTPS Google images branding Google logo 2x Google logo light color, and this is the size of it, all this stuff. So this will give us the Google image for a light background, which is not good because we have a dark background, but I think it looks fine. So we go look at that, you'll see now we have the Google image. And if Google actually went and changed that image to a colored image or whatever else, it would automatically change in our, as long as we're attached to the internet, it would change in our vault. All right, so that is a nutshell links and such. So now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about making lists. So there's two types of lists. You have ordered lists and you have unordered lists. Unordered list is usually, it'll have like a star or a dot or something to say this is just an unordered list. There's no order to it. It's just a bunch of bullets. And then ordered lists have, either a number or some kind of sequence of numbers to say this is the first, the second, this third, so on and so forth. Now, I was just starting to think, I'm not 100% sure if it's only numbers or if you can do like ABC or Roman numerals. Let's test that out. Let's do our unordered list first. So let's do UNORDER, unordered list. And there's various ways you can get it to do the dots. Now, as far as I know, I mean, you could probably change it using CSS or something like that, but the default, any type of bullet, it's going to just turn into a dot. So the first one we can do is we can do just a little dash, and I believe this is why we have also a backslash dash, right? Yep, we sure do. Just making sure we actually have all our escape characters. So if we do a dash and then space and whatever our thing is, first thing you'll notice is that it actually turned into, it indented for one, and it also turned gray to tell us that, hey, I recognize this, you're creating a list. So I could say list item, and we'll just say 1. Now if I hit enter, it'll automatically create another one for me. If I hit enter again, it'll actually get rid of it and put us back in regular mode. So we're going to go ahead and do it in that, but we're going to use the second type. So I'm going to hit tab, which will actually make it so that we can actually collapse our ordered list as well. But instead of the dash, we're going to do the asterisk, which is also very common, as it's thinking I'm doing it as a as an italics. So we're going to do the asterisk, and this will be our second item. Second item. Oh, actually I said list item 2. List item and 2. And then the final one, if we hit tab again, just so we can see that these actually indent and stuff, we're going to use the plus. And you'll see it's already gray, and we'll say list item, and we'll do 3. Holy cow, we're at 31 minutes. I need to end it. List item 3. I probably should have ended it after external images, but I didn't realize we were going so long. So if we do that, scroll down, you'll actually see it just does dots, but because we're indenting them, it looks at this as saying this is a list item of this. So then we can shrink that in and, you know, expand it, or expand all of them. All right, so I think we are going to go ahead and end it here, because I did not realize we're over 30 minutes, and I wanted to keep these at 15 to 20 minutes. So, oops. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Click that little notification bell. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other channels. Tell other people about my channel. Spread word of mouth. You know, share it with other people. Grow the channel. And yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, that's it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.